Okay, right. So let's look at this question here. And what we're really looking at here is if you just work with me, you will see that we're just trying to treat this inventory as equivalent units to be able to, if you like, value things. That's it, really. Let me tell you what's going on here. You're making something. You're making these fizzy drinks, and you have this opening work in progress, not quite finished goods of 2,000 liters. I mean, they're partially finished. When they are finished, they will be 200 complete liters. Then it says that during the week, I start working on 7,000 liters, but my aim is to arrive at 7,000 complete liters. I'm hoping in the end to have 9,000 complete liters. But along the way, I end up, as you can see here, that I start off with 2,000 partially completed liters. Then, of course, when I pour this into to start the next process, I will end up completing these first, and then I start working on these. But I end up in the end with 8,000 complete liters, but I have 1,000 unfinished liters. But I'm mixing all the material together. That's all I'm doing here, right? So let's kind of work through that. So you can sort of see, because it says AVCO, I'm mixing all the material together. So that's important. So let's see what I'm really saying. So what I'm saying here is that because I'm mixing everything together, I come through with these 2,000 liters, right? And I say, well, let's split them up in terms of the material and the labor. So I have these 2,000 partially finished goods. I'll write the 2,000 here. So I spent £4,000 so far material and 1,950. Anyway, I then pour this in. I mean, this is how far I finished on them. I then pour this into the cauldron and do some more work on it, spending another, I mean, I'm mixing all of it together, spending another 9,500 in addition to this, and in terms of conversion, spending another 7,080. Now remember, this 7,080 will part of it will complete the outstanding work that I need to do on the opening whip, and part of it will also complete the existing work. So I spent all of this funding so far, and let's work that out. So far you've spent 13,500 on materials, and so far you've spent 9,030 on labor. Now, what have you come out with? Well, because you've mixed up all the products together, you've come out with 8,000 complete goods and 1,000 partially finished goods, right? That's what we're doing here, right? So again, I have 8,000 complete goods at 100% finished and 8,000 complete at one. In terms of the work in progress, I have 1,000. By the way, of course, in this here, I've completed the work in progress. In terms, it's all complete. What I now have is this outstanding closing work in progress, right? So I have 1,000 goods, of course, at 100%, and 1,000 goods at 60%. So I have, in effect, 9,000 complete goods in terms of materials, but I have, this is the equivalent of 600. So you've been doing all these questions and building up to this, and you have 8,600, if you like, goods in terms of labor. So I can find the cost of equivalent units. I can say, well, therefore, the cost of an equivalent unit when it comes to material is, of course, 13,000 divided by 13,500 divided by 9,000. I can find that, and I can also do the same. I can say the cost of an equivalent unit in terms of labor is 9,030 divided by 8,600. I'll change my pen color again. When you do this, you get a figure here of 150, and here you get a figure of £1 and 5. So now that I have these figures, and that's what they're asking me in this first question here, this is £1.50, and this is £1 and 5. I want you to just come into the factory and think about it, because we're mixing. It says AVCO. We're mixing everything together. Just think about making fizzy drinks. So this is what you now have. I have a total cost all mixed together, but this is my situation, isn't it? Well, okay. If the question is asking me, I mean, what's the value of my completed units? Well, I have 8,000 completed units and I have 1,000 partially finished units. Well, my completed units must be, Well, the 8,000 in terms of materials at £1.50, and the 8,000 units at um, sorry, in terms of my completed units, I have 8,000 in terms of material, and in terms of labor, I have 8,000 units at £1.05. So let's do that first, right? And I have 8,000 times £1.50, which is 12,000. It's 12,000, and I have 8,000 times 1.5. That's 8,400. Add the two together. Add the two together, and that's 20,400. And in terms of my closing work in progress, right, I have 1,000 units that are 100% complete, of course, for materials. So that's 1,000 at, well, I mean, when I say 1,000, that's at £1.50. But in terms of labor, remember I have 600 equivalent units, which is really 1,000 at 60%. Yes, we've done that. So you have 600 at £1.05. We can only value these per equivalent unit. So I now have this. So I have 1,000 times £1.50, which is 1,500. And then I have the 600 times £1.05, which is 630. So I have, add the two together, and you have 2,130. So what are we really saying here? Because I want you to understand what I'm doing. I'm basically pouring all these goods in together and seeing what happens at the end. This would have been the cost per equivalent unit for valuing anything. I mean, they just say open work in progress. It would have been, as you can see, in valuing closing work in progress. I'm just needing to find what the equivalent units are. Because I'm mixing all the products together, I have to take this approach. Cool, great stuff. I hope that's been helpful.